Hi, I'm Andy Olivier, and we are at the most prestigious event of the year for musical theatre, plays and theatre in general. We are at the Royal Albert Hall for the Olivier Awards 2018. I'm going to catch up with some of the stars of theatre as they come down this red carpet, a bit of a drenched red carpet, but we'll bring you some great interviews coming up. Well, a very proud night for you, being a West End performer and actually presenting at this prestigious occasion.
Absolutely, yeah, it's wonderful. There's been about 50 people that I've seen that I know, and there's just so much love, and they're just everyone's being congratulatory to each other and supportive. It's just such a wonderful environment backstage. It doesn't matter whether you win or you lose, it's just wonderful being here.
And you've had a busy time, obviously, with the album coming out and this. Do you ever stop at the moment?
No, I mean, I am due to go on holiday tomorrow, so it's the first time I'll have sort of a nice little holiday in amidst everything. But no, it's been a busy 2018 so far, and we've only been 3 months in.
Now, I tweeted you a picture of me as Fester. It was me. We've got to talk about Adams because we have to, because it is a magical show, isn't it? It's so, the humour is so dark, but it's a magical show.
It is, it's incredible. It's got so much heart to it. It's about a family, so therefore it is kind of a family show, and there are songs in it that just tug at your heartstrings, like Gomez singing to Wednesday, and that, you know, Adam's family kookiness aside, it is just a father singing to a daughter about how he doesn't want her to grow up and doesn't know how he's going to handle that, and it's just beautiful. The sentiments are gorgeous.
How did you first see the character how did you resonate with the character when you first saw her Wednesday?
I mean, I had a little bit of an emo stage when I was younger. I loved dark comedies like Tim Burton's films. I loved the Addams Family films when I was growing up. So I just couldn't wait to sink my teeth into her. And I'm sure Wednesday couldn't wait to sink her teeth into me either.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful night. It's a great night, and I'm sure you will. Good luck. Show your musical. It must be a proud occasion, up for 5 awards, and it's only been out since February last year.
Yeah. I mean, we're amongst giants. I mean, it's really are. It's amazing, you know. And our show came from Sheffield, you know. It's set on a council estate in Sheffield, you know. It's my hometown. It's amazing to be here, and the Albert Hall is amazing.
What do you think is the main message we can take away as theatre goes from this musical? It is a very powerful musical, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it has a very simple heart, you know, and I think it has a kind of universal message, really, in that just feel brave enough to be yourself.
And who were your inspirations growing up as a young man into musical theatre and theatre in general?
Inspirations, I remember I grew up in a council estate, and I used to go and watch my granddad's telly on a Saturday afternoon and watch Fred Astaire dance.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Well, say no more. Have a wonderful night, and best of luck with the award nominees.
Brilliant.
Thank you
so much. Cheers.
A great night to be here in, what has been a relatively new musical, but such tremendous success.
Yes.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah, we never dreamed that with our first show we'd make it here. You know, I mean that was one of the things you kind of put in the back of your mind as a crazy dream. You know, it's like, oh, maybe we'll go to the Oliviers. You know, maybe we'll be invited. You know, and actually to be nominated and have 5 nominations with our first ever show, it's kind of almost surreal in its level of like. Movingness of it as well. It's very moving to be amongst all these incredible people, incredible artists who are all putting on really amazing, beautiful things. You know? So it's quite, it's a bit overwhelming, really.
Yeah.
Do you think Jamie's opening up a wider conversation about the type of shows that we want to see in mainstream theatre?
Oh, I hope so.
I mean, I think it's inevitable, right? Because you can't, as an artist, you can't disconnect yourself from what's happening in the world. I mean, you can try. And if you're not staying relevant to the world, then you might not want to write a story about a queer kid in a school. You might not want to write a story that's multicultural. But if you live in the real world like we do, we're bound to tell these stories because these are the people we know.
It's a contemporary show where it reflects the kind of education background that we have. You can't make it like a bunch of posh white kids who are all straight. It's just not what the world is. And maybe there was a time in musicals where that was kind of the world they were portraying. But that's not where we are now, and I think it's great that you can, and it's good drama. It makes people connect, it makes people want to watch it, and that's our job, is to entertain as many people as possible. So we're not going to start excluding people.
And you know, after us will come many musicals about the kind of people that are out there, that need their stories being told, and as a storyteller, why wouldn't you tell their stories?
We didn't set out as a tick box exercise to say, right, we need to have a black kid and a Muslim kid and all the rest of it. We set out to tell a cracking story, and all of it came organically and naturally from that. So maybe our eyes are a bit more open just because of the backgrounds we've had, But we didn't do anything like heroic or special. We just looked at our schools and went, well, we'll put that on stage.
When did you, during rehearsals, when did you sort of get an idea that this dynamic between the main characters especially was really going to stand out in this show?
Well, we'd always... First time we read it. I mean, the first time we read it, even just sat around my piano.
Yeah, with none of our cast, just friends reading in.
Yeah, just as mates, and we started falling in love with the characters straight away, you know.
And what do you have any idea about, if you were to tell another unique story, how it might go and what sort of characters you'd want to involve next time?
Who knows?
Yeah, well,
I mean, you know what? Keep your eyes open. You know, that's what we do. We keep our eyes open. We keep our hearts open.
Do you want to explore the queer territory more?
Absolutely,
absolutely, yeah.
Because I mean, it's what we grew up around gay politics. You know, being two gay guys, there's no way that we wouldn't write that, but we'd probably write other things as well. You know, it doesn't define us.
One of the reasons why Jamie is so popular is because of Margaret, the mum, who's a heterosexual woman in her whatever age. We sort of slightly flexible how old she is, but and we wrote her with as much love and passion as we would for any of the gay characters. So it's, if you're going to write a queer story, you've got to write good straight characters as well, or else it's like, you know, we watch old movies and the women are just ciphers and the men get all the lines, and you're like, well, why don't the women do anything? You have good straight characters, good gay characters, good everything else, and that's what I think we'll look for next.
Does it worry you that there's not enough of these stories at the moment, or do you think they're...
It just takes a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's definitely changing in the right direction.
It took us 5 years to get this on. You know,
so
and
someone's doing it now, we won't see it for 5 years.
And apparently that was quick.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, everyone's like, oh, you're part of the zeitgeist, but 5 years ago, we were thinking, let's do this show, this is going to be exciting.
Yeah, no one else is doing anything like this.
So does the examination surprise you?
Yes, absolutely, yeah, we're delighted.
Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
I mean, being an American, I can't believe it. I've never seen the Oliviers. I've never experienced such like a grand awards night. So just to be here, I'm pinching myself the whole time, and to be with my wonderful co-lead, it just is a dream come true.
I mean, what was it like for you when you first got the part in this musical? Obviously, we've grown up with Rock of Ages, Meat Loaf songs over the years. What was it like when you first got the part?
Oh, it's so surreal and it's so wonderful. The music of Jim Steinman and Meat Loaf is really a gift to sing, and it's so incredibly important to us to be celebrating London theatre and being a part of the community here tonight.
And how has it been your experience in the London's West End rather than in Broadway? Is there a difference, a different feel maybe, or?
You know, I think what's so wonderful here is I feel like people really, really wear their hearts on their sleeves when they're going to musicals with music that they really, really love and adore, especially with Meat Loaf fans and Jim Steinman fans. You walk into the theater and you start the show, and the first preview we had, they gave us a standing ovation right when we walked on the stage. So to experience that kind of love in this world is just so affirming. It makes us want to continue to do this show till the end of time.
Do you know, when you first walk out, I do a lot of performing myself, musical theatre, and it's that from the rehearsal room to suddenly being out on stage in front of an audience. It's when you come off, you kind of go, wow, did that really just happen? You know, do you sometimes feel like that?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of adrenaline involved, and I guess we actually get that feeling, I think, every single night when we get that standing ovation and feel the love from the room coming right back at us. It is very surreal every single night, and we're eternally grateful.
Well, thanks for speaking to us. We're Musical Theatre Review, so I'm sure you'll see us on Twitter and Facebook. Oh, hello, Arlene. How are you? My name's Andy from Musical Theatre Review. Hello. Not a stranger to the this wonderful event, are you? But are you taking especially interest in the best choreography as well tonight?
Oh, I love watching the awards for the best choreography, and the fact that you get to see little bits of each of the shows, one after the other. It's like having a box of licorice all sorts all to yourself. No, I absolutely love it. And there's so many brilliant choreographers around, and Andy Hamilton, Andy Blankenbuehler, who choreographed Hamilton, was in the original Saturday Night Fever on Broadway, choreographed, and so many of the wonderful choreographers I've worked with have been in my shows, and then you watch them creating extraordinary things, and you know, I feel like the proud mother hen.
It's just kind of changed over years, because now we've got awards like Best Choreographer, where you've got old-fashioned musicals as such, 42nd Street Follies, and we've got the modern era hip-hop covered as well.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing now. For dancers training, they, you know, used to talk about the triple threat. Now they have to cover all genres. There's no way. If you're not there, you won't get in a musical, because they may go from tap, hip-hop, ballroom, Latin, jazz. You have to do it all.
I think one of the first musicals where you predominantly saw that was Billy Elliot, where you saw a young man who was having to be an acrobat and a tap dancer and a contemporary dancer.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I love Billy Elliot, love the choreography in that. But now, dancers are really working hard.
Thank you for speaking to us. A pleasure to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is a wonderful night for you especially. And 5 nominations. It must be an extremely proud feeling to be a part of this wonderful musical.
It is. It's a phenomenal night for Jamie and for British theatre. We're really excited.
And your character's a really strong character anyway. And then there's I watch a great song there, He's My Boy, a very emotional song. How do you learn to do that? Do you get in a moment beforehand, or does the emotions come out during it?
I think, you've got the whole build-up of the whole show, and you see Jamie and Margaret in their wonderful relationship that they have, and then you see it slowly sort of break down, and that's heartbreaking to watch for a moment. And it's just the most incredibly unique song. I mean, I don't know whether I've ever seen one or heard one like that before. It's more like a soliloquy, really, and it's speaking to the audience and it's connecting to them, and it's a beautifully written song, and the lyrics are so touching, and it's an absolute pleasure to sing it every night.
What is it about this musical that's really captured the imagination of the audience? Because it has really come from nowhere. Last February it comes into the West End, and suddenly it's massive, isn't it now?
I think it just deals with universal human issues that we're all struggling with, our identity, who we are in this world, and we've all been through adolescence, but also there are so many people that have struggled in their relationships as well as Margaret has, and is struggling as a single mother to bring up a son in a world full of prejudice, and she's trying to bring him into the world and facilitate that path as much as she can without letting him get hurt. But of course that's not possible. You can only take your children so far. But I think she's done an amazing job, and the real Margaret, I think, has done a much more amazing job than my character. My character's got quite a lot of flaws, and she doesn't quite tell the truth to Jamie some points. But Margaret Campbell is an incredible inspiration, and somebody that we should be celebrating and looking up to.
Well, thanks. I hope you're successful in your nomination. It must be a great feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Have a great night.
Thanks, love.
Thank you. Well, what's a night we're having here tonight? I mean, let's go back maybe January, maybe December 2016. And now, it's a bit of a...
Back even further,
yeah.
To 2014, which is the very first workshop, September 2014.
I mean, this musical has really taken off. What is it about this musical that has really captured the audience's imagination and the whole country's imagination?
Well, it's the premise is finding out who you are and where you fit into the world, and that's something that every single person on planet Earth goes through at some point. It's a universal feel-good show. I think we need more feel-good stuff going around, positivity, and also it's British, and it's succeeding. It's succeeding past all of our expectations, and I think we can feel the hunger for British work.
I mean, in ways, it can be drawn similar to Billy Elliot, the working class background, Sheffield, County Durham. Isn't it? A very similar sort of premise, isn't it?
I get those comparisons a lot, and it's really useful to selling it to an audience that perhaps don't know if they would enjoy it, but did enjoy stuff like Billy Elliot. We're telling a story from a working class perspective, like you say, but the music is so specifically pop that I think that's what makes us really individual, is that we have real pop songs in our show. We're not writing from a musical perspective, book or songs. It's all, we're coming at it from a different angle, and I think it's just turned out to be really great.
It has. John, I hope you have a wonderful night. It must be nice to have your nominees in the same group as well. And
I can't wait to see my whole cast is in there, and I can't wait to go and see them. They all work so incredibly hard, and we can all share this together.
Thank you. Thank you. Best of luck. Thank you.
The support of people that have come to see us, and it's amazing that everyone else has carried us this far, I think.
I mean, it is an amazing story. You've all studied it, and then you won an Olivier Award. I mean, it couldn't get any better than that, to go from where you were to this now, the pinnacle.
We're so lucky. I think it's been such a fun ride for us all, because we're all such good friends. So So I think we haven't quite noticed the journey until you look back on it and you realise how far you've come, because we've been having such a fun time. And also we do genuinely have the best audiences in the world. We've always said it, because it's improv. It wouldn't exist without them. They are the people that help to make the show with you, so we've got to thank them for helping us get this far.
I mean, improv for me, by my age, started off with Whose Line Is It Anyway many years ago. And this just carries on that tradition, and people don't realise how popular improv is in acting as well as musicals, isn't it? There's comparisons there, isn't there?
Yeah, completely. Yes, I mean, they've summed it up pretty much, yeah. We use it all the time. I mean, The Play That Goes Wrong and other shows that have come out of our company have all been improv based at the beginning as well. So, but to now be doing a show that is fully improv, like roots of where we started, is so exciting, and to be nominated for an award for that is just
years ago,
incredible.
when we used to rehearse, we always spoke about ideas for the show, and it's not until all this has happened that there are certain things we're now able to do, and those were things we always thought, well, how do we do that within an improv show? And now we have the tools.
I mean, is that something you started off when you were studying, thinking this is the route I want to go down, comedy, improv?
No, I think we were all pretty serious actors, and then probably took ourselves too seriously, which is why we ended up in comedy.
I've seen the show, you're not serious. I've seen it in Newcastle Theatre Royal, and it's not serious.
We always used to rehearse at the weekend, so we were all either drama school or different kinds of training, being a doctor, and we would meet up at the weekend in our spare time to do it. So I suppose, yeah, I might have had grand ideas about being a serious actor, but actually the thing I was dedicated to was meeting up with this group of people and practicing every weekend, and I think everybody was the same. So that maybe should have given us a hint back then.
What about the dynamic? I speak to actors sometimes at movie premieres, and I talk about the dynamic between actors. There seems to be a certain dynamic between a lot of you that makes this work. What is it?
I think length of time, yeah. Friends and length of time.
And we find each other funny.
Yeah.
Which probably isn't a good thing. Maybe it's bad, but we do find each other hilarious.
Yeah, I watched a film of one of our old shows a while ago, and we definitely found it a lot funnier than any of the audience. So hopefully over time that's changed.
I'm trying to remember what the name of you was. It the Scat Pack or? That's it.
It was the original name of Mischief Movie Night, yeah.
So we can all start off even at the Edinburgh Fringe. It's a good message, because Edinburgh Fringe, we're playing little theatres with not many people in, but you can realise that dream if you've got that. Bring it to reality, can't you?
Yeah, and I think the Fringe offers such an amazing opportunity for new companies, because anyone can do their show there, good, bad, mediocre, whatever it is. And I think it's such an amazing thing that we have it, and long may it live.
Yeah. Well, thanks for speaking to us. Well, we're okay for the minute. It's not nice. So, you've got an active role in this awards ceremony tonight, I believe.
Yes, I'm presenting Best Actress, which is very exciting. I feel rather underqualified to be presenting it, but I'm very excited. You know, I mean, I think they should all win, so I don't know how they're going to decide.
I mean, all the categories are very, very tough to decide. What's been your favourite out of the musicals around at the moment, over the past year, should we say?
I haven't seen many, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I've heard Hamilton's amazing, but I can't get a ticket for Love Nor Money. Yeah, I mean, I think that might clean up a little tonight. But I'm just really excited to get to see some snippets of stuff tonight. I think it's going to be cool. Now, this is Andrea Simon. This is that's your next question. We're in sync then, mate, aren't we? This is Andrea Simon. Andrea works for the End Violence Against Women Coalition. She's my activist friend that is here with me tonight because we're both supporting the Time's Up movement. And we just want really excited to be here,
really
supporting it, aren't we?
It's amazing to be here and to be joining up with Pearl and all the other actresses who are here supporting Time's Up. It's fantastic. It's giving it a real platform. It's really pushing this message that sexual harassment and the like is just not acceptable. And
oh my gosh, please don't apologise. You're Imelda Staunton. You can do what you want.
And we are...
You picture yourself.
She touched me. Yes. But yeah, no, exactly.
That's been the highlight of my evening, sorry.
No, it's a little bit like being at the Oscars and then having maybe Meryl Streep come past you.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's really exciting. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to like just connecting with as many people, as many women as possible who want to say, you know, that this is Time's Up now. And
I mean, it's important that we've got a platform like this. We've had the Oscars, we've had these various all throughout the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
say the message.
it's wonderful, and I think it's great that we can say it over here in the UK, that, you know, we feel the same. We're calling time on sexual harassment in the workplace and violence against women sort of globally. You know, it's not just for us, it's not just our specific workplaces that we're talking about. We're just sort of trying to use our voices here
in your workplaces, in
and in our
entertainment.
workplaces,
It's been
yeah,
very
big
recent that we've had lots of scandal, and we haven't really had codes of practice or things that have been put in place to help victims come forward. So we really want to see all industries connecting and doing.
It's important that we have this message now, because I'm going to admit myself, when I growing up as a teenager and working in a workplace, I saw some things, but 20, 30 years ago you kind of went, You didn't say anything, and you should have done. And now we do.
And I think that's great, and I think that's, you know, from now on, we are all in that position where if we see something happening, we can say something. And if, you know, if something happens to you, something, you know, we are in a, I think the sort of the globalness, if that's a word, of the movement has made it's sort of pushing it to the forefront. And so it's letting everyone know that this is not okay. And, you know, I mean, hopefully it will happen less.
There's a role for women, there's a role for men in calling this out when they see it.
Well, have a great night and enjoy presenting the, I think, Best Actress, is it? Best Supporting Actress? Yes. Wow. Have a great night. Thank you. The Oliviers and I guess, celebrating a message and a musical like yours.
It's so important, and we're kind of a little British musical that started off 19 shows in Sheffield, and to get to this point and be recognised and get 5 nominations is incredible, and it is celebrating diversity and authenticity and people being original and their authentic selves. So the fact that people have got behind that, it's lovely. It's lovely.
I mean, where it's based, they call it the Steel City, I believe, or Sheffield. Working class background. I said to someone earlier, a bit like Billy Elliot in County Durham, working class background, similarities between the two, but the similar message that you can be somebody, be yourself.
And also, you know, and it's a very kind of remote, we were very specific about the part of Sheffield we set it in. It's Parsons Cross Estate, and we really, in rehearsals, kind of looked at that remote estate and talking about the sense of community. And I think that at the end, when the audience kind of get the whole story, it's like we all become a community together, and it's about those kind of tiny microcosms all coming together and being unified together in the message of acceptance.
I think the community word's right, because the actresses and John and the rest of them, there's a community between the cast, I think.
Yes, oh, for sure. We're such a kind of tight-knit family, and I couldn't be prouder of John and Josie tonight. We've got everything across for them, and they give us a lesson every night on what to do on that stage. They're a masterclass. It was incredible.
I hope you enjoy your night. Thanks for speaking to us. Thank you. Umbrellas up, umbrellas down. It's some night here. The weather does not put us off, because it doesn't dampen our spirits, because it's celebrating some great shows tonight, isn't there? Great year for theatre.
Absolutely, an amazing year for theatre. Seeing those nominated productions is slightly overwhelming when you see what we've achieved in the last year in particular. I didn't think it could get better after last year, and quite clearly it can. I mean, that's why it's raining, because, you know, the nominations are better, so hey. No, I'm thrilled, and thrilled to be here with pantomime as well in particular, because, you know, Dick Whittington is nominated for Kudos, and it's nice to see that we're representing all different types of art forms in our industry.
It's some pantomime you were in. I do pantomime, and my cast wasn't like yours. I'm going to complain to the company that employed me, because I didn't have a star lineup like Diversity and Elaine Page, I must admit. Wow.
I mean, just, you know, casual Elaine Page and, you know, full third in, and I mean, ridiculous. I mean, probably the most incredible Christmas I think I've ever spent on a stage. So I am immensely grateful to have had that experience, and I sincerely hope it's not the last time, because I think we sometimes forget how glorious an art form pantomime can be when it's done right, and we should celebrate it. We really should, and we should get everyone down to their theatres at Christmas time to see pantomimes. It's where it starts.
It is, and you know, you could probably learn a lot from being an actress, musical theatre actress, pantomime actress, from who you're working with, the wealth of talent and experience that you've got on stage with you.
I didn't train as an actor. I kind of fell into it, and I'm really grateful for the people that I've worked with, because they've taught me so much more about this craft than I possibly could have learnt in 3 years at drama school. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go and do it. I'm saying that you should go and train, but when you come out, keep learning, keep experiencing, keep gathering everything you can from those amazing performers you work with, because that's what it's about, passing on that knowledge and gaining more and growing every day as a performer.
And we're here for an important message, aren't we, tonight? I've spoken to a few people about that tonight. Can you explain your thoughts on the Time's Up movement and what it means to you?
I think it's an incredibly, incredibly important movement. I think there's been an awful lot of, shall we say, behind closed doors action that has happened, and it's about time we gave people a voice. It's about time that we can stand away and not be scared of saying when something isn't right and knowing that something isn't right. I don't know many people who haven't experienced something that shouldn't have happened in this industry. I'd like to hope that the future that one day I have children going into, that I can send them into this industry feeling protected and safe, and that if something happens, they have the voice and the strength to stand up and say, no more, it's not appropriate.
One more just final question very briefly. I mean, what's your favourite sort of memory of pantomime? If I can just say one moment, mine is of little children just sticking their thumbs out and their tongues out at me because I play a baddie and booing me. What's yours?
My favourite moment of pantomime? I think my favourite absolute moment is always going to be Christmas Eve productions. The night on Christmas Eve when everyone's so excited and you see small children in an audience who are filled with a joy that can only come in the truly innocent and aware. And that's when you see the magic of theatre, is when they are completely immersed in it and open to it. We got it with Chitty, we have it with pantomime. It's across our theatres. Any show that gives me that childlike feeling again, that's perfect.
And the very honest children will tell you.
Oh yeah, they will tell you.
They will. Thanks for speaking to us. Have a great night. Thanks. Well, that's all from the red carpet here at the Royal Albert Hall. Remember to join Musical Theatre Review on Twitter and Facebook and social media. From me and Alex, my cameraman, this afternoon, we'll see you next time.